Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and I'm here with another comic review. Before we get into that, just want to remind everybody that Mighty Mascots 7, 8, and 9 still in demand. Issues 7 and 8 are pretty much done. We're just doing some final edits, changing a little bit of the artwork, and also, changing some of the dialogue, things like that. Issue 9 is just about done. I think Ian has about 3 or 4 pages left to pencil and ink, and that one will be going to Anton to color. And then, we'll start looking at a printer and try to get these out for our summer release like we planned. So if you haven't backed it, check out the link below in the description and give it a shot. You can also get all the earlier issues too, issues 1 through 6 through the campaign, so you can catch up on the entire series. If you like fun superhero books with a Saturday morning cartoon kind of feel, check out Mighty Mascots. All right, let's get on to our comic review for this week. I am looking at the Exiled #1. This is by Whatnot Publishing. And the credits on this book are Wesley Snipes is one of the writers, along with Adam Lawson. Let me see. Wesley Snipes, Adam Lawson, and Keith Arem. The artwork is Gabriel Eskivo Santos. Colors are Valentina Bianchi. Sorry if I mess up any of these names. I'm horrible with pronunciations. So this is a comic book that I believe started off on Indiegogo and now is being published by this brand new publisher called Whatnot Publishing. I've mentioned them a couple times with some of my upcoming indie comics releases. They seem to be like a new publisher that is putting out some good stuff, and they have some long, older creators that are coming back to do work, which is great, things like that. So this is my first experience with them, is this book Exiled. But let me read you a quick synopsis of the Exiled comic. This is the producer and star of the Blade franchise is back. Detective Niles Roach Washington pursues a serial killer 5,000 years in the makings. The world around him says to ignore the signs he's seeing, but his instincts push him forward. With enemies on all sides and within, Roach wades into darkness to find the killer and uncovers Earth's darkest secrets. I read issue #1. It's a couple setup scenes, and I wanted more, so that's a good thing. Issue 1 kind of feels like the first 10 or 15 minutes of a movie. And it's enough to hook you in, and you want more. It's a lot of action, which is great. We get a lot of comic books nowadays that don't have action, just talking heads and things like that. So this is good in that sense. And as I was reading it, it felt very theatrical. So like I could see them trying to bring this to a movie studios and trying to make this into a film, which would be great. I mean, if Wesley Snipes is involved, chances are it might happen. The character that's based clearly on Wesley Snipes, it looks very much like Blade, actually. Like he has sort of the same look, which is cool. I mean, you got to give it up for Blade. I mean, the first Blade movie, easily still one of the top 10 best superhero movies of all time. I think, in my opinion, I've probably watched that movie like 50 times at least. I love the first one, especially. I like the other two, okay, but the first one, amazing. So, so it looking like Blade is not a bad thing, I don't think. It's also co-written by Keith Arem and Adam Lawson. And I'm not familiar with Keith Arem, but I have read a comic called Kill Journal, and I believe Adam Lawson did that book, and that was kind of interesting. It's very horror, people hunting serial killers and things like that. So he seems to be a good addition to this project, and I don't know how it all came about, if Wesley Snipes brought Keith and Adam in, or Adam and them brought Wesley in, I don't know. I do know that it was an Indiegogo first before it came out at Whatnot Publishing, and I went and looked at the campaign before I recorded this review, and it looks like the campaign, they released it as the full graphic novel, which I don't know if that came out to backers first or if they're doing like the Berserker thing that Keanu Reeves did, where they sold you the graphic novel and then the issues came out after. Either way, I will say though, after reading this one issue, I feel like it would read better as a graphic novel, like because you just get like the like I said, like the first 10 minutes of a movie feel with the first issue, which is good. It hooks you in enough that you want to come back for the rest. So I probably will get I believe it's a 6-issue mini after they break it apart, So I'll definitely check that out. And the artwork, let's talk about a little bit of the artwork. The artwork is nice. It is the Gabriel Eskivo Santos, I think is how you say it. It's very competent. It's the storytelling is good on it. You can tell exactly what's happening. The action's good, the gore's good, so all that stuff is great. You follow it perfectly. It's got a very it's got a bunch of different future sci-fi kind of feel to it, in terms of the artwork and the story. It felt a little bit like it's got like that not steampunk, that cyberpunk kind of feel, like a Blade Runner, or it reminded me a little bit of like those movies they used to make in the 80s. Like, do you remember I Come in Peace with I think that was Dolph Lundgren, with the alien like drug dealer? It feels like that kind of a concept, like the sci-fi meets action, also kind of like Demolition Man, or like Split Second with Rutger Hauer or something like that, so it feels like that kind of a book, which is good. And I think, if this is going to be turned into a movie, I'd watch this movie in 2 seconds, so artwork is good. The lettering was okay. Like the word balloons and everything were pretty good. I think the sound effects could have used a little tweaking, a little more pizzazz, a little more explosive, like kind of like it's an action book, right? So you want your sound effects to be big and bombastic, like especially when there's explosions and things like that. So I think that could have used a little tweak there. Otherwise, I think it's a solid book, and I'm looking forward to more from this Whatnot Publishing. Would I recommend this? Yes, I would recommend this, especially if you love the Blade movies, if you love Wesley Snipes, if you love action sci-fi, if you love cyberpunk, this book I think is worth checking out. The price for the issue looks to be $3.99, and it seemed to be about 22 pages or so. It was all in color. The paper's nice and glossy and thick, so it has a nice representation for the money. You also get like a 10-page preview of Simon Furman's Astrobots in the back, which looks really cool. Looks like Simon Furman doing his own version of the Transformers or something. And if you don't know Simon Furman, he used to do the Death's Head comics for Marvel. So, I'm looking forward to checking that one out as well. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, check out Exiled, and let's hope that we see a movie in 3 years, So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the review and, subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all the clicks we get. And also tune into some of our live streams. We go every other Monday or every other Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We talk to indie creators, and we just celebrate our love of indie comics. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. We'll talk to you later, and most importantly, read some comics. See you later. Bye.